He told you at that time that he was a registered sex offender, right?
Tonight, a man who was in charge of supervising homeless sex offenders is sounding off after a Four in Your Corner investigation.
And he defends why he told these men to live out in the woods. Four in Your Corner's Mike Mason joins us live in the studio tonight with more on this one. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, when sex offenders are on probation in Lee County, they're supervised by probation officers and the Lee County Sheriff's Office. But tonight, we uncovered information that seems to question whether they were really keeping track of these criminals. You've been convicted of doing some pretty bad stuff.
Yes, but I paid for that.
Robert Taylor and Eddie Pruna both admit they molested young children. For them, finding a place to live is tough. When they were both evicted from their home a few years ago, their probation officer told them to live in the woods.
And he says, come at Ortiz behind the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
In the woods?
In the woods.
After reporting this, that probation officer lashed out at us, claiming we insinuated he did something wrong. Former probation officer Tito Nieves told us, I found Pruna and Taylor a residence in Lehigh Acres with another sex offender. They had to leave, so we had to find them another location away from society and not near a neighborhood. That location on Ortiz was exactly that. And a year later, when deputies kicked them out of those woods, Nieves apparently stood up for them.
The one probation officer comes out with the paperwork in his hand saying there is
cannot
no
get violated.
law in this state where sex offenders cannot be homeless. They can be homeless.
Nieves says he was a highly awarded probation officer. We requested information from the Department of Corrections and found he was also slapped with a written reprimand in 2012 for not checking up on a sex offender. It states, you were notified by a sex offender that he was moving. You did not investigate for a period of 14 days in violation of policy, which required him to verify each new address within 2 days. We also uncovered conflicting information about Gennaro Vasquez's address. He told you at that time that he was a registered sex offender, right? Vasquez is a registered sex offender who listed his home address here at his former workplace, Walsh Trucking on Ortiz Avenue. The owner, Steve Walsh, says Vasquez never lived at the work site, but he did park his van here.
I mean, it doesn't run, it has no air, it just, I think he stored stuff in it.
So you don't know where he was living then?
No.
Vasquez was arrested in January and is still in jail. We asked the Lee County Sheriff's Office if they knew where he was living prior to his arrest, but they still haven't gotten back to us. When they do, we'll let you know. In the studio, Mike Mason, Fox 4, and Your Corner.